Hello and welcome to our morning craft session. It is Wednesday morning, the 12th of March 2025. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Jenny McCormac. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire, and that's here in the UK. Wednesday morning is our kit morning or our online exclusives. So these are products that you won't find necessarily printed in a catalogue, and so I've given them their own session each week, each Wednesday morning at 10 AM. Today's kit is called Welcoming Garden, and it's a fantastic spring garden kit suitable for lots of occasions. There are some stamps in there that include thanks, hello, just a note, thinking of you today. Obviously you could add your own sentiments onto that. If you wanted to make it a birthday card, for example, you could stamp your own birthday sentiment instead. All of our kits have these printed visual instructions, so they tell you what components you need, what elements to stamp and where, and basically how to put each of the cards together. There are 3 cards in this pack and you can make 3 of each, and the pack price is £22. Not only does it make the 9 cards, but you will also have a block, some tape, you have a stamp set, which is this one here. So it's got a fence, just a note, thanks, thinking of you today, and some wood effect that you can use, and obviously you can use that on other elements. So that's the stamp set. You get a crumb cake mini ink block, ink pad. I'm actually going to use my own one because I've got it here, so I can keep this sealed. Occasionally somebody might lose one, so I can use it to replace for them. There are obviously base cards and envelopes as well, and then all of the die cuts that you need for all 3 of the cards. And you'll find that there are spares as well, so that if you make a mistake, you can either use the back or just use another one of these. So there are 5 of these, for example, of each of those, but you only actually need 3 for your cards. Nothing to stop you adding to that or using some of these sentiment panels for other cards, of course. You will need a pair of scissors to open the pack, basically, and also for cutting up, for example, the dimensionals, because some of the pieces are quite small and you only want a narrow piece. All of our kits also have QR codes on the back. One is a sort of getting started to show you how to do some basic stamping, and the other one is a link to a video for this specific kit. Now, if you ever lose your piece of paper, just message me and I can provide you with the link for that particular kit. Okay, so let's get cracking. I've got the components out, I hope, one for each of the 3 cards. The whole thing comes in a nice sturdy box. So these are all the other elements that are the duplicates. I do love these envelopes with the printer design on the front, like so. So let us get cracking, and I'm just going to do them in the order that they have here. And so the first thing we need is this panel here. These are for the other cards, and we will need some of these flowers. So let's I think it's those ones. Yes, let's pop pop these out first. 1, 2 and 3. And the sentiments they use is this one here. Now, as I said before, if you've watched any of my kits, what I would do is do all of the stamping first and then work my way through. But for the purposes of today, I'm just going to do one at a time. Okay. There's also the little birdhouse here. That's a 3D item. And I think that's all I need for the first one, yes. So I'm just going to pop these on top of my box and hope they don't go sliding everywhere. Like so. So the first thing you can do, and I think this is quite optional really, is to stamp the wood grain onto the fence itself, onto the sort of gate and fence. I'm just going to do that at a bit of an angle. So the way that this is going to go is that this folds inside, it's slightly narrower, and then this piece folds on top, like so. So it is already scored for you. Okay, so it's going to go like that. And so what we're going to do is stamp the wood grain effect onto the gate, and you could in fact do both sides of this if you wanted to. So let us do that. Let me grab a scrap piece of paper so you can see the detail. She says. Like so. And so this is the detail here, and this is the crumb cake ink pad. And so I'm just going to stamp this off here, and I do recommend you just have a little practice if you haven't done any stamping before. You can use the piece of cardboard that comes with the pack. That's always a useful thing to do, just to have a little practice. And then these are going to go on to these pieces here. So I'm just going to take my glasses off so I can see what I'm doing. And is there a right and a wrong way? I don't think so. Just going to go in that section there. Just adds another level of detail, which I suspect you can't see on the video. There we go, like that. And I'm actually going to do it on the other side as well. Why not? If you wanted to use a different colour, for example, you could do that if you wanted espresso. And this is a really useful stamp, a wood grain. You could use it for all sorts of things. Okay, so I stamped the front and the back of the fence panels. And the next thing we're going to do is add the details. So that's the inside of the card. So this is going to fold down. Let's do our thanks actually while we're at it. Where's my stamp set gone? So we've got a nice bold typeface of thanks. And again, you can have a little practice on some paper or card. There we go, there's my little thanks on there. Not particularly straight actually, but it was close enough. Okay, let's cover the ink pad up, and then we're just going to pop these elements on with some of our dimensionals. So they show you how many to put on and where to put them if you're not very experienced. I'm actually going to put 3 on there, and then we've got these set of flowers here. Stuck to my finger, and I'm just going to cut a little bit along here. So I've got some slightly smaller pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try not to lose them. So 1 on the back of each of those, 2 on the set of 2 flowers, and then just going to pop those. Oops. Up. Now this would make a great Mother's Day card as well. So we do have Mother's Day coming up here in the UK. So let's pop these on here. So that goes on top of that one. Then we've got a set of 2 that's going to go here. So what you want to make sure is the flowers and things that you're entering are in this window here. Otherwise it will get hidden and squashed by the fold over. Oops. So that one there. Now if you didn't want to put these on top, you could leave them off, pop them on something else, but it is quite a nice effect. Go. And then the thanks is going to go on here. You could save a couple of flowers and put them on there if you wanted to. This is going to go, oh yes, I didn't think about that. So I just need to be careful if I, because I put 3 in there, I need to watch where it's going to go. So what I'm actually going to do is put it on this piece here at the top, so that the pieces don't show through. There was obviously a very good reason. I guess what you could do is also put the pieces on there, but there we go. So there's our first card. Opens up beautifully, and then it has the envelope to go with it, this one here. So the kit will make 3 of those, as you can see. Okay, let's put that to one side, and then let's do the next one. And this one has the gate, which is this one here. So let's just pop this out, and this is all laser cut, so it makes it really easy. Very fine detail, but it comes away like so. And then we've got I haven't got any of those. And we need this one. So they put just a note, but you could use the thanks if you wanted to. That's that. And then we need the greenery from here. So I'm going to try and put it out carefully. Like so. That. Put that little piece out there. stays in. There we go. I'm going to leave it there for a minute. Okay, and then we need all of these sets of flowers. So a set of 3 sets of 3. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 individual ones. So you get 3 sheets of these all together. Okay, like that. And then they've got this piece going behind, and onto that we're going to stamp that wood grain as well, just for some backing. So let's find the stamp set, like that, and I'll stamp the sentiment at the same time. And so I've just got it coming across here. And I think you could do more of that if you wanted to. I'm going to, just because I can. And there we go. Oh, let's stamp our sentiment at the same time. So we've got thanks, just a note, and thinking of you. Let's pop that on. Just test it out first. And I'm going to move this down to make it easier to see. A note. So I think that is all the stamping that is required. And okay, the back of this piece is going to have some tape on it. I'm going to trim that. I wonder if that's not quite cut through. I will check. There we go. So on the back of here we're going to put some tape. The tape is provided in your pack. So let's just grab this. Run that along there. Trim the edge off, you don't want it going off over the back. And then this piece, we're going to add some tape behind, but you could use, obviously use the adhesive that you perhaps would normally use, so whether it's tape runner or glue. This is going to go onto our card. So that's the back. This piece I'm trying to work out what order they've done it. Okay, this piece is going to go onto here, and then this is going to go on top, like so. And then what they suggested is you could feed some of these little pieces through the gaps, like so. If you can see that. And you could do the same with this one. feed it through there. Just be gentle with it. Like so. And that gives it much more of a 3D look to it. Okay, so let's do that. So they've got this going on the back first. Yes, so I put the glue on the wrong side, haven't I? No? Yes. Okay, let's cover that one up, because this needs to go behind here, like that. So tape on the front exactly as it shows you in the diagram. I got sidetracked because the postman's just come to the door. I'll blame the postman. Okay. Right, let's peel this off. Okay. This is going to go on the front of there. And then we can feed those elements through. Like that. And then it's going to go through there. This one can go down there like that. This one can feed through, like so, as can this one. Now if you didn't want to do that little bit, you could just leave them behind. Let's bring this one through as well. There we go. I think that works nicely. Have I got where they've suggested it? That one on the top. So they even show you where to put them on there. And then on the back of that we're going to put our little dimensional. So there are some little circles there. If I lift that up you might be able to see it on that background. Let's do that, might be easier. And let's pop this on there. I might make it a little bit smaller actually. Like so. Got 3 across the bottom, that's nice and easy. 1, 2, 3, like so. And then you can dot them around wherever you've got sufficient space. So they do give you the positions. You just want to be able to support it. And one at the top there as well. I'm just going to use these cut down pieces. One. Go. 2, put one on the top, there we go. So I've got 3 across the bottom, I've got a couple in the middle, 2 each on these outer edges and 1 on the top, and I think that will do the job. And that is going to go onto our panel here, like so. They show that on the card already, so let's pop it onto the card. I put the tape on already. So say if you wanted to add more detail with that wood grain stamp for the background, you certainly could. So just peeling these off. 1, 2, 3. And they put it centrally. And then this is going to go on the top, and they had it just slightly down below the bottom here. So let's take all those backings off carefully. Of course I did put that tape on the back, so what I'm going to have to do is just remove some of that tape. Otherwise my dimensionals won't stick to it. There's one. Take that little bit of tape out. So, don't do as I do. Put the tape in the correct place. There we go. And I want to leave the rest of that backing on there because I don't want that to stick onto the base card. So I'm just going to, if it'll let me, cut that little bit out of the backing tape. There we are, recovered. Okay, so 3 across the bottom, sort of 2 or so in the middle, 2 on the top edges of the arch, and then 1 right at the top. Okay. So this is going to go on here. Like so. It's a really nice 3D effect with these panels popping up. And then we've got our just a note here. So I think what I'm going to do is do that and then decorate around with the flowers. Just putting that odd strip on there. I just will use it up. Good morning, I can see somebody's joined us. Oh, Catherine and Fran, good morning to you both. So just a note, it's going to go onto there, and then they show you where the flowers go, but honestly you can put them wherever you see fit, I would say. And they put little dimensionals on the back. You could also just put a little bit of glue if you wanted to, so that you haven't got too much height. I was thinking I might do glue to save time, rather than you watch me peel all the backings off. So I am just going to do that. She says. There we go. So just for time, So you can follow their directions as to where these are to go, or you can just put them wherever you want. So there are plenty to use. So you could keep some for the maybe I'll put one in that little gap on a dimensional. You could keep some for the inside and stick them on flat. You could keep some and add them to the envelope, but you wouldn't want to add dimensionals unless you were handing it to somebody. If you're hand delivering it, then it would be fine. So I'm going to pop that one in that little gap there. Let's pop some over here. So I'm just using a tiny dot for each of those. As long as they've got something to attach to, it's fine. And let's add here. Didn't attach that very well. There we go. And then let's put one here. And we're done. So that's card number 2. Like so. Just a note. So pretty. So in case you came in after the first one, this was card number 1. So we've stamped the wood grain effect on there. And then these are all 3D'd on top. So that's 2 cards. And then the final one is this one here. So again, you make 3 of each, and I can see the 3D elements that go on top of here as well. So gently tease it away. So if you've got little ones doing this, you might want to supervise that. Okay, and then we've got some individual flowers. We thought they were hydrangeas, these ones. And then there's some sort of lilac sort of ones. Have I got all of them? Yes, I have. Okay, so for this one, we're going to use the fence stamp. Now, I think this is going to be really useful for other things as well. We go, and let's find the fence panels. So this has got a very clever design. So the fence actually opens. I can get that little piece out. Come on, out you come. Like so. This piece is on a hinge, and then we have this panel on the right hand side, and then we have these 2 pieces here. Like so, and a hello if you want it. And this is also going to go onto one of these base cards here. So the first thing we're going to do is stamp the fence detail onto here and here. So this is the fence stamp, and we're literally going to place it down there. Going to do one here and one here. These pieces to the left and the right are where these pieces are going to go. So let's pop that on a block and give it a go. So I've got crumb cake again. As I say, you do get the ink pad and everything included. Shouldn't have folded it really, should I? Right, here we go. There we go, if you can see that detail. So, let's pop a piece of paper underneath. So I'm going to do this one to the left. I can see it. Like that one. And then this one here. Like that. So we've got 1, 2, 3 all stamped. Let's do the sentiment while we're there. And they have thinking of you today on that long thin sentiment here. So you get 5 of these, so you get spares. So what you could do is just stamp them all up and then use that on other cards. If you don't like the today, you could just either ink up the thinking of you, or you could cut off the today. Sometimes I think thinking of you today sounds like you don't think about them the rest of the time. I know that's not the case, and obviously there are occasions, if it's a particular, you know, anniversary or something, then you would want the whole thing. But you could just ink up thinking of you if you wanted to. So just take it to your ink pad up to and including the U, thinking of you. You could also, because you get the little ink spot, you could literally just cover that with a little bit of paper, post-it note, and then just ink over it. Just remember to take the post-it note away before you stamp it. Okay, so I've got thinking of you today. I've got those elements there. Right, and this time I'm going to get it right. This time the tape is going to go on the back of here, not on the front. So let's put a little bit on the end, like that. And then they have dimensionals on the back of this piece here. They've got 2, but I'm tempted to put 3 on to support it. And then the uprights here on the back, they've suggested 3 dimensionals, 1 at the bottom, 1 each in the middle, and 1 at the top. I think this would be a great kit to make and sell. You could sell a set of 3 cards together. And as far as Stampin' Up are concerned, you can sell as many of your cards using Stampin' Up products as you would like. The only stipulation is that you need a Stampin' Up stamped logo on the back. But other than that, you can do whatever you wish. Right, there's my little hello. Let's pop 2 on there. And then on the fence panels, we're going to have tape only on this piece and this piece so that the gate will open. So and it's where you can see the hinge would be. I appreciate you can't necessarily see white on white, so I apologise for that. And this one, they've got it slightly higher. I don't know if that is significant or not. Okay, that's all of those pieces. So the next is to put this panel onto the card. And just looking to see if there was anything else. And they put it right across the bottom there. And no other tape that I can see on the backing of this. Give it a little bit of movement. So take your time to line it up. Like so. Okay, so that is that. And then we're going to put the fence panels down. So we've got this one here. Oh, I see. So they've got, I don't know if you can see, it's just a lighter panel here and here to help you with the position. I was thinking, how do I know where that's going to go? Because this fence panel is going to open, you see, like that. So take the backing off here. So the double piece here goes on the left hand side, like so. Single piece goes on the right hand side, and again it gives you that position marker. That's handy. Like that. Cute. Right, these pieces are going to go on the top, and then we can put the die cut pieces of the flowers on top of that. So it's just going to go straight on there, like that. Hopefully you can see that. I can't see any messages, sorry. Let me just find some. Or not. There it is. I will be finding oh, sorry Catherine. I will be finding dimensional pieces for ages. You're quite right. And of course I only hoovered up yesterday. Never mind. Okay, this one's going to go on that top of that one. Just make sure you don't get in the way of the opening gate. Our thinking of you today is going to go on the inside, and they've got it just sort of going across the middle. And because these are on dimensionals, that will force the gates slightly open, so people will be able to see that there's something behind. Now they've got those above the flowers. I'll do the same, but I think I might put one further down if it was me, but there we go. Cute. Our hello is going to go on the front, and then finally our 3D flowers are going to go on top of that. we are. And then these just need, so there's the 3 of the hydrangea, this little daisy, and then the sort of lilac piece. So you can see there's still plenty of dimensionals. I've done 3 and yeah, hardly touched them really. There's the lilac and that one. And you can really just pop them on wherever you want. Two. 3, so there's 3 there. We've got this little daisy one that can go here so it pops over the fence, and I guess I could have done the same with one of those. And then this sort of lilac, buddleia, whatever you want it to call, and go on here. There we go, there's our finished card. That's very cute. Okay, so that's 3 of the 9 cards. So there are, you do 3 of each. Let me cover my glue up. Let me just show you them. So 1, 2, 3. So quite unusual cards, I think. Matching envelopes, all with this design on, and you have enough to make 3 of each. So we've got this one here with the little gate, stamped the backing and added the flowers on. I put the flowers on flat, but you could put them on with dimensionals if you wished. We've got this one that opens up and you can write your sentiment in here. If you were stamping a sentiment, just be careful that it's below this line. Unless you wanted, I guess you could put a sentiment here, nothing to stop you doing that, in that little gap. But just be a little bit careful about, because you wouldn't want it sort of cut off. But that is very sweet. It opens like that, and obviously it stands really nicely as well. And then this one with the little fence, again, really cute. And with this one you could stamp the fence detail in different colours. If you wanted a blue fence or a green fence, you could certainly do that. You could also use blending brush to colour that in if you wanted to, but the stamp set is included, which is this one here. So just to note, thanks, we've got the fence panel, wood grain and thinking of you today. And you can buy this set in English, French, those are the French wordings, and German. So you can switch around, and then you will just be sent the appropriate stamp set. That's why the stamp sets come, are put into the box separately. So there we go. So I hope you like it. I think it's a fabulous set. I do have another set to share with you, which I'll probably share with you next week, which is a sort of nautical set. So I hope you're able to join me for that. So thank you so much. Catherine says her favourite is the brown gate. I think mine is. I like them all. That is quite cute as well, with the little opening area. But this is nice with the gate. I assume you mean that brown gate, or did you mean that brown gate? Maybe. Whichever one, Catherine. I think they're all nice anyway. So yeah, enjoy. So available to order. I do have some in stock at the minute. If you want me to bring one to Coffee and Card, excuse me, just let me know. So thank you so much, and do take care, and I look forward to catching up with you very soon. I shall be back here tomorrow evening, Thursday, with more of our stamp set of the week for this week. Thank you so much, and bye for now.